Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Johan, and this is the Boardroom of the Kings. I am here with none other than Uncle Errol Fabien, the comedian. You understand the inspiration, a man who is known to Trinidad and Tobago. Everybody who watching, all they don't really know who Uncle Errol is. So, Uncle Errol, mm, you're
It's good
good.
to be here.
Yeah.
It's really, really good to be here.
All right.
Thank you very much for having me.
The pleasure is ours. Trust me. This is our opportunity. I want to have just a discussion.
Okay.
And this discussion must just flow. We could talk about anything. The same way that I asking you questions, I would like you to ask me questions so that we could get a better understanding. You good with that?
Okay, I good with that.
Alright, so what I really wanted to begin with is like what area you grew up in.
I grew up in Gonzales village, Guapo.
Guapo.
At the time, the village population may have been about 200, if so much. A small village,
Small village.
deep south.
Deep South. Okay, and what was your upbringing like? You came from an extended family, a nuclear family. What sort of family you came
Well,
from?
yeah, I grew up with my father and my mother and my 8 siblings.
Eight.
Yes, 9 of us my parents had, and by the time I was 14,
Mm-hmm.
my mother died.
Okay. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Um, do you have memories with your mother?
I have some of my greatest memories in my life with my mother. And for instance, Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
since my mother died in 1974, I've never enjoyed a Christmas since.
All right.
I have children and I do the best I can for them to have a good Christmas, but Christmas Day,
I don't feel
I
the
really
same.
miss my
I don't
mother.
feel the
Well,
same.
yeah.
How, all your siblings still alive?
All of us, we all over 50 and all alive.
That's a blessing. That
Yeah.
in itself is a blessing. Um, what is one thing that would have affected you positively throughout your life that happened in your childhood?
How old are you talking about?
Between, let me see, 7 and 12?
Between 7 and 12?
Yeah,
Growing up with my parents and my siblings.
that would have.
That's the most
Mm.
positive thing happened to me in that time in my life.
And your
And
dad,
particularly with my mother.
what you would, what was he like a strict father or
My father is my hero
how so?
because, wow, he was just this amazing educator. He was the principal of Guapo Government School.
Okay.
That was his second assignment as a principal. His first one was at Rancho Camaro Government, but he was a teacher. And he would give lessons morning and evening. He would teach in the youth camp in Chatham. But my father, he and I didn't have the best of relationships.
I know about them thing.
He never was able to really make me know that he loved me. But now, in big man thing, looking back at my life, I realize that my father really loved his children. And I can't think of another person who could be a hero to me other than my father.
Okay. And how old your dad passed?
Yeah, he passed in 93.
93. I'll be a child. Like a child. Um, was something that would have affected you negatively?
Passing of my mother.
I wanna go into that. Like, what do you remember about the passing of your mother?
Well, that nobody told me anything. I knew she died.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We found out earlier morning. I still went to school. I was at my Prima College at the time. I still went to school because I didn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
But nobody spoke to me about it. To this day, nobody like Errol,
Had a conversation.
you know.
Yeah.
And that real messed me up, I real,
Sorry to hear that.
yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
See, my mother, hey boy,
Mm-hmm.
we grew up in this little village in Gonzales village, Guapo, but we came to know the world for me through my mother. My mother would take us out in the night and show us planets and constellations and things. My mother would cook. I mean, I would come home from school to hot pumpkin pie, to Swiss rolls, to coconut turnovers to currant rolls. She would bake, she would cook, she would prepare everything, you know. And that didn't define her because she was so much more than that. When I was about 9, my mother called me and put real money in my hand, $20, and send me on a,
well,
it was real
yeah,
money at the time.
definitely.
And send me on a 2-mile walk to go by a man named Inson to buy 2 goat because she tell me I need to learn discipline. I don't have enough discipline. And boy, oh boy, them goats. I had to wake up early every morning because they're bawling to go out to eat. You know, I had to go and tie them out.
You get 2
I have to
goats for
remember
$20.
2 goats for $20.
Yo.
Yeah, 2 ewes. So I ended up with quite a few goats. So when I go into tired goat was goats, you know. And that was my mother. She used to always, she knew all of her children and who needed what. And although she was 38 when she passed, she
Shocked you.
Did you sweep the goat channel?
I sweep a real goat channel. Goat channel sweeping was the bane of my existence. But it put that discipline in me to this day. To this day, the sun don't be in the sky with me in my bed. I'll be up early.
That's good.
And it come from then. You know, even if I go back in my bed, I'll get out of bed. And I love to be outside when the sun coming into the sky. I took all of my children, I have 7 children, as babies, they would go walking every morning with me. Right up until they reach like standard 5 when they know they have to go to school early and thing, but we go for walks in the morning. And that's from since then.
So,
And I grew up seeing my father wake up and go and exercise. Yeah,
so it kind of like, well, it's a family-oriented household.
very much.
And
I had goats. My sister had pigs. My brother had rabbits. We all had to chip in with the chickens, duck, peking duck, turkey, guinea bird, all the other poultry thing that we mind. And the garden, we had beautiful roses, chrysanthemums, margarets, dahlias, sunflowers, everything growing in the yard. We also had cassava, peas, okra, everything. You know, that's how I grew up.
the spot in which you lived in Guapo, right?
Yeah.
It's the is it owned by your family, sir?
No, it's owned by the state.
Owned by the
We
state.
grew up in the teachers' quarters, St. Patrick Quarters 62. That was my address as a boy growing up. And the house fell apart, but the CPEP came and did the most beautiful flower garden and area and put education first, which is something my father used to say and thing, you know, on that spot. So it's like a real tribute to my parents there. Because my mother used to do the garden and my father was big on education.
And then too, your dad being a principal within the area, he would have been well known.
Yes,
in
he
the area.
was. My father.
So
I've seen a lot of people who in big positions in this country who I know my father teach. He, she. Yeah.
that's nice. That's nice.
He was a really great man.
What's the biggest lesson he teach you?
To work hard every day. And that's what I do. To this day, I work hard every day.
At what point you notice that entertainment was your passion? Because I believe that is your passion.
I still haven't noticed that yet, you know.
Nah. Well, you're good at it.
I love entertainment. I love comedy.
Right.
But of my 8 siblings and me, I tell people I think I'm the least funny. My brothers and sisters are hilarious.
Where you fall in
I'm number 6.
Number 6.
Yeah.
Near the last.
Well, yeah.
So
number
you get-
6
you get
and 9,
a
you
little
don't exist,
easier,
you know.
You get a little easier. You get a little easier.
No, but no, it's girls. I'm the second boy.
You second boy.
Yeah, I'm the second boy.
Now, you have
That, I was under a lot of pressure. I was under a lot of pressure. But you know, number 6 and 9 don't really exist. I watched this movie, Home Alone, and they didn't realize the boy
That he
wasn't
was
there.
missing. Yeah.
That's how I used to feel. No, I know my siblings and them love me, but that's how I used to feel as a little boy, like I really wasn't there, you know.
So would you say entertainment was your way of saying, hey, look at me, I exist, I'm here?
in a big way, and I didn't have a sense of it. And now, although we used to do a little concert home and thing, because that's all the entertainment we had, and was enough of us to have a cast. So we used to have our own little entertainment home and thing. But when I went to Naprima College, I was I was lost. I had no sense of myself or no sense of my region or my country or this world. I had no sense of it.
Right.
But when I got to Naprima College, I used to get in trouble early o'clock. And then I came across these guys who were drumming and singing and writing plays and acting and all this thing. And I was like, I
You
could
like
come,
that.
I could come,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah. I know the
and
feeling.
I
know
jump
the
in
feeling.
and to earn my place in there, I work harder.
Right.
I work hard at
Right.
it, you know. I push, you know, and that's how I end up doing in drama festival. At a young age, I was in Form 3 or Form 4 when I was in drama festival. And I did well, and they said I did well. I don't know. So I went to this thing that, oh boy, sorry, they stopped that thing. It will be a performing arts camp at UWI in the holidays. And people would get scholarships to go there from Best Village, Secondary School Drama Festival and thing. And we used to work with the best tutors. Belinda Barnes taught me my beginner's course in acting in 1975.
Wow. You know, something just straying away from what we're actually talking about. Like, I realized that we really and truly do have like Best Village anymore, and
No,
plenty of these things.
but now real people singing Sandro just past come through Best Village. I know real entertainers out here. Penelope Spencer, all these people come through Best Village. You know, it's a indictment against us as a people that we don't have that going on in the way it used to anymore.
I want to discuss that, but we'll deal with this first and we'll come back to that. So, you was in secondary school, you noticed, well, alright, arts.
Yeah.
Arts stand out here. This is where I feel comfortable, basically. And you ever doubt yourself?
I still do. I was doing that to escape from everything else. So
Right.
I was completely immersed in that.
Right.
All right, I wasn't doing good in school, but I was in football, I was in volleyball, I was in the combo, I was doing calypso, I was doing choral speaking, you know, all the other things.
Yeah.
I was doing it at school. And the older I get, is the less confidence I have.
Why? Why you think?
Because I'm more discerning. And I realized that the young boy who I thought I was with this hot comedy and all this kind
Yeah.
of thing, when I look back at the work now, I realize, what? That's what people used to laugh at, boy, you know? And that's what I used to do. That's how fast he used to talk. That's how poor your enunciation was. You know, I look back at all of that. So today, I'm not.
You're more critical of yourself.
Yeah, I'm critical of myself, and more than that, I don't feel as all of this thing anymore. I used to feel so. I thought I was this hot thing now.
Right.
Today I realize I'm just here to play my part and do the best I could do in the circle that I end up in, whenever I end up in a circle.
Okay. So let me see, you came out secondary school, right? You went through the entire. It was 5 or 7 years.
5.
5.
Couldn't wait to get me out of that school, boy.
So you went through the entire 5 years,
Yeah.
and you got passes.
No.
No passes. All right. What was your first job out of school?
Wow. My first job in life, I was still at school.
Okay.
I work in the holidays at Hilo Point 14 as a box boy, packing groceries when people finish in the box and carry it out in the car and thing. And when I left school, I left the village too. And I moved to Port of Spain. I
Right.
moved to Belmont.
So you moved from country to city.
Yeah.
How was the transition?
It was not easy because I started experimenting with drugs since in school.
What sort of drugs?
Marijuana, alcohol, cigarette.
Marijuana, alcohol, cigarette.
Yeah.
And uh, what would you say at that point in time affected you the worst?
The worst?
Yeah.
Marijuana.
At that point in time,
Yeah.
marijuana. Okay, I thought you were say alcohol, but
Well, I hardly used to drink alcohol, but since in school I probably get drunk twice, but I didn't like the taste of alcohol, really.
yeah, it
know?
don't taste good.
know,
Like
so-
up to this day, it really don't. It really, if it is I could go to a party and just drink a soft drink, I'd be happy. You understand? But in that environment, and so it's kind of like a peer pressure to a certain degree.
Yeah.
What made you start experimenting with drugs? Like, was it the circle that it was?
No,
because
you
we talk
know.
about secondary school here.
I am from small. When I see big men smoking, I tell myself, "Wow, I had to do that." And when the first chance came to do it, I did it. Was roll up gazette paper.
We used to use the yellow pages for before.
There you go. See what I mean?
Yellow pages for before.
And we smoke. I smoked that, and I smoked the duster in class, and then I start taking up cigarettes out of the ground. Man in the village used to smoke and flick his cigarette, and I take the butt and I go on in the bush. And if I tell you and I pull on that, it used to feel like I'm in a movie, like a man in a suit with a cap on the corner,
Yeah. Yeah.
That was my vibes, So it was unreal, but at the same time, it was like, I used to like that place.
Yeah.
I always liked that place where was outer reality.
And like, I like where you just sit there. You like that place. Because like in my head, it's like we in a movie now. Things just change.
All right.
Yeah. Vibe just changed. So it would have been cigarettes, alcohol, then marijuana, or cigarettes, marijuana, then alcohol.
It was alcohol.
Alcohol first,
Yeah. Then cigarette. Then marijuana.
then marijuana.
Yeah.
All right. And how did marijuana affect you? Because it affects everybody differently.
Like all drugs. Well, as my first wife used to tell me, look at you now, you're like, so watch you. How you feeling now? Watch you, you're like, so you can't do nothing. And I used to get real dumbed down kind of way. I mean, I used to get just mellow, I was cool.
Yeah.
It was the herb of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you see. So I used to just get real mellow and sit down and go into that place that is not reality.
Yeah.
And
Marijuana has a way, and that's why I always tell people, because I have nothing against weed, personally.
Neither me.
And
Or against anybody who want to smoke their weed.
like, to me, if it is you're using marijuana, know what you're using for, because marijuana is a drug that whatever you put your attention on after or during, you understand, the process of getting high is what is going to really and truly take your focus. So you don't want to go and for me, if it is when I used to smoke weed, I would smoke weed and then go and read a book.
Right.
Because now I'm involved in this book, I really actually want to pull out everything. But I feel plenty people kind of use it for getting high now.
I
That's
say
really
use it
for
to
you.
get high and go and do nothing.
Okay. So, alright, that would have been secondary school. And then your first job outside of school was?
When I moved Belmont, right, if I thought it had plenty weed in Gonzales, I was wrong.
Had plenty more.
Real weed in Belmont. And pushermen living around, and I just fall right into that company. That on the block where people has been the same people has been there all day long. I became one of those people when I moved into town.
Right.
And then I start
Well, 1 second. Like, what made you move to town?
because school ended up in the way of my drugging. And if I stay home, my father wanted me to repeat.
Right.
And I didn't want to go back to school. School was in the way of my drugging.
Right.
So I didn't go back to school, and I didn't stay home to hear from my father every day.
Right.
So I skate out.
Alright. So you're now in what area you say?
Belmont.
Belmont.
Dark Eye Lane in Belmont. That place teach me a lot of things, Dark Eye Lane in Belmont. Anyway, I am on the corner smoking and thing, but a fella I know from Sando that he's make leather craft. And he was selling on Queen Street in town. You couldn't sell on Frederick Street and Charlotte Street and thing in a base, you know.
Charlotte
We used
Street,
to
you couldn't
hustle
sell on
on,
Charlotte Street?
we used to hustle on Queen Street. That's the
Wow.
only place you'd really see street vendors. And they wasn't selling food and thing. You couldn't put no stall in the road and thing nowhere in town. We used to be on a little thing on the side under by Answer building there and always on the lookout for the police.
Right.
We used to sell leather slippers, timber heel shoes. This fellow was real super good.
Talented.
Yeah. And I learned a bit of the craft from working with him. And then there's the designer, young designer called Claudia Pigas in town. We used to take some of her clothes on consignment. So we had this little thing going there on Queen Street. So that was really my first job to say
Basically.
when I leave school.
Okay.
And that went south fast.
How so?
But we started doing good, eh? We had rented upstairs of where Modernity is in Green Corner. Now it used to be a 2-story building, and we was renting the upstairs for the workshop, and we were sharing the rent with the next person. But there I went, and the fella, the really good leather craft guy, wasn't there. Neither were the clothes or the tools or anything.
He dive out on all that.
Dive out. And
Wow.
I had to find the money to pay back Claudia Pigas, and that's how I started my first job.
Which was what?
I was the night clerk at Chaga Cabana Hotel.
Night clerk at Chaga Cabana Hotel.
So I was the only guy who run in the hotel in the night. So I would go in and update the portfolios. So I add on
I
charges.
want to ask you like one question before you go there. Like, this guy who run off with the money and thing, like, all they didn't look for him?
I have never seen that man again in my life.
Wow. That is performance.
Never. It's like if the world stopped spinning and he stepped off that night and it continued and going.
Wow.
I've heard about him in LA and I hear he was, excuse me, in Atlanta and somewhere else.
Okay.
But I've never seen him again or spoken to him again. I went home by him, all kind of thing, looking for him,
Right.
in the early years. But tell me, they don't know where he is. I thought he was inside there, so I still braced them and walk inside and thing, but he really wasn't there.
Errol, you went back for your thing under badness?
Badness.
I mean,
You had to go
Yeah.
back. No, but Dan, if somebody rip you off like that, you had to go back on that badness. You could go with the police and try to talk and reason.
yeah,
Maybe
but
till they
I
get
wasn't
him back
about
after
I wasn't
that.
about
Yeah?
that police thing. I went there. I stepped. I want to tell me not to matter. I went inside the house and saw all the line and thing and looked for him, but the man really wasn't there. The man disappeared.
Okay. So
But police is by my door. Through Pigas looking for the money and things. So my sisters and them say,
yeah.
because I was by my sisters and them, they say, we tell you about this. You're supposed to get a work. Go on.
Yeah.
And that's so I went there and get a job at Chaga Cabana. So my first duty in the night is to update all the portfolios. So check and see who in rooms when they check in, and if I had to add a night fee
Right.
onto all these portfolios. I would man the switchboard. Say phone call and them switchboard where I pull out this and stick it in there and stick it in there and thing patch me switchboard.
Yeah.
Hello, and press it down and call the room and say I have a call for you, and they say take it, pull the call and stick it in there and it go on to them and thing. Real, they're telling you. So I used to do that. And I was everything. It had no security. We had security, everything there at night at the hotel. I was 19 years old.
Wow.
And boy, oh boy, right next to, in Shaka Cabana Hotel, shared this space with Heritage Discotheque and Adam's Apple, a restaurant and a discotheque. And next to it was Swan Hunter Dockyard, the biggest dry dockyard in the Caribbean. So today when I hear them talking about diversity in the economy and doing dry docking and thing, we were there. And shit alone happened and now we're now hustling to find something to do. But we had the biggest dry dockyard in the region.
Wow.
All the big ships used to come there. But when the ships dry docking, sailors there. And when sailors there, the girls come. And when the sailors and girls get together, they need rooms. And
Problems. Yeah.
I had the rooms.
So you make a killing.
I make a killing. So I used to go down early. It have a bus used to pick you up Green Corner and carry down Freecourt. And when I going down there and them, they'd have no Westmore and Westmorans and none of that, When we going down that stretch, it's only black mangrove on the left side. None of that existed.
Wow.
No, yeah, he say he make a kill. No, wait, what do you mean?
No.
You talking about
Let
like
me tell you
if
the
he
killing
kill
I make. I wasn't the killing I make. I wasn't on girl then, I was on drugs. So I used to go down early,
you're still on weed.
hustle my thing, yeah? And when the sailors and the girls come now,
Yeah.
I done gone up in housekeeping, and the rooms that not for sale, I make them up.
Right.
So when I sell the room to them, I put them in the room that I make up.
Right.
So that not going in the books.
You're not going in the box. Right.
But 5 o'clock in the morning, I knock in that door.
Yeah, the music, yeah, the
Yeah, because 7 o'clock, the staff coming in. And if you go 7 o'clock, it's too late. So all 5 o'clock, I waking them up and running them out. Because the idea was to hustle the money, pay off, so I could get back to the block. That was what was driving me, to pay off that debt. And in 6 months, it was paid, and I resigned. So when I to my sister, I was like, what?
So,
Oh, you mean you
so,
resigned?
so basically what you're saying is that you amassed the money that you needed, pay off what you had to pay off, and went straight back to the block. To hell was with the job. Wow.
And my sisters and embraced me, boy.
Yeah, 1 second, before you was still just marijuana at that point?
Yeah. Cocaine wasn't even really in the country and in the drug culture.
We don't know people now. What kind of weed you was smoking?
Partner, it's not what kind, it's how much. I was high all day long.
How much weed can you really pull though?
How much cigarette I could smoke in a day? That's how much weed I could have smoked in a day, or used to smoke in a day.
That problem. I used to, at a point in time, I used to smoke a pack and a half of cigarettes a day.
I used to smoke plenty weed. Because here's the thing, right? So I wake up in the morning, I have an eye opener.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Something to sort you out.
Yeah. A ting, and I reach out on the block. Them fellas, all that going on there is weed smoking all day long. That's all that is going on there. So when I fall in there, that is it. So when...
Wait, hold on. Is it smoking weed and talking relationship or something?
Yeah.
Good vibes.
Well, all then I in a drama group in South, but I'm not doing stand-up comedy or none of them things.
So you're in a drama group in South.
In Sando.
And on the block in Belmont.
In Belmont.
So you making that trek?
I had to make the trek. Taxi.
Wow.
So when I leave there, when I leave, and then time was $2, The north-south taxi was $2.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Not
it
bad.
was good. So when I leave the hotel, and my sisters and them embraced me, tell me, you have to find a job. It had a woman who used to come down in the hotel with somebody who wasn't hers.
Right.
Right? But she had a big position in a place called National Fisheries. And she said, me anytime,
You need anything.
check she. So I
Yeah,
check she
you
and I
have to
get
do
a
that.
job in National Fisheries, And so my day was wake up in the morning, take eye opener, and I heading out to Fisheries, but I stop on the block with my brethren
Right.
and take a smoke.
So
And then I go on down
You're
to
high in
work.
fisheries.
Yeah, I'm not on the block with these fellas. I have a job, So I go on to work, but 10 o'clock tea break, and the fish plant with them brethren and them, and we take a smoke. Lunchtime, either in the shrimp plant or going in town with the monthly paid guys, and we drink 2 beer or we drink brandy and Nutramen. And then when they reach back and them going in the office, I go on the dock and take a smoke with my brethren, and then I come in the office.
Right.
And then evening at a tea break too. So I go downstairs and take a smoke. And then after work, I jump in a taxi, go on Sando, go on drama, I'm smoking before drama, but after drama, I'm a brethren in South I went to school with. So I go Plainville and I take a smoke. You can't go in the villa and then take a smoke. And then I'm back on Belmont on the block for the night, liming and smoking. I thought I was smoking a lot of marijuana.
Okay, you were smoking a lot of marijuana, right? But what was the Mailu at that time, or what exactly was the norm around that time?
The norm around that time,
Was weed generally,
weed and alcohol
was that general common?
was a general thing. Soon after them time, what I talking about here is like 1981. Around that time, cocaine now coming in, but in straws. The thing they call the rock, not really around yet.
Right.
And nobody wasn't selling rock. When we wanted to smoke rock, we would take the cocaine, throw it in a test tube, empty the powder in a test tube, put some bicarbonate of soda in it, and hold it over a Bunsen burner.
It's very intelligent.
over a Bunsen burner and swinging it around. You keep swinging and then you start hearing something and the crystal form, the rock fall.
Wow.
And that is freebasing because it removed the base chemical using the thing that crack cocaine invent here, you know. With them fellas who they had the Bunsen burner, they would buy, now it is buy rock, I think. I don't know, I never buy that quantity. But they would buy the powder and they would make the rocks themselves. So all that I was, so anyway, I never liked snorting cocaine. I don't know if I used to get too much up inside there because of the size of my pullers, but I never liked snorting cocaine. Yeah, I tried a couple of times with the fellas and them, cause we smoking and they pull out the thing and they make the lines and things.
What was the difference in experience when like your experience with marijuana and your experience with coke?
Well, okay. Before, let me just say, I think I had more of an oral fixation. I never liked thing going inside my nose.
Right.
You know, I like the oral.
Yeah.
Anyway, so marijuana made me feel like I could not do anything, but think about anything.
Right.
Cocaine made me feel like I could do anything.
Right.
Right? And it used to charge me up. I used to get energy cause now I smoke in blacks,
What is blacks? Explain that.
Blacks is crack cocaine in the marijuana. And you make the joint and you warm it up so that the crack melt and the joint does get black from the oil in it.
Okay.
So that black joint.
Right.
That's why I used to smoke. I didn't like the Zoosh bottle. I didn't like piping. I didn't like snorting.
Right.
Right? But blacks was my thing. And when I smoked my blacks, boy, it was a real rush, but it used to go away. The marijuana alone high would last. I'll be high for hours, feeling, you know. But when I do the crack, in half hour, I want more because the rush gone.
Errol, here what you want. With your traumatic skill, right? Memory. How was the first time experiencing
Cocaine.
My first time experiencing crack cocaine, right? Now, let me tell you how I get to know crack. From smell. First, when them fellas start piping, it would be the whole thing, the whole lab inside there, because they'll buy these straws and they'd go and make it and then they in the pipe smoking it. Well, they used to have a pipe.
Basically.
Oh, because another pipers now.
Right, a piper.
Is one where the name come from?
Just, yeah. That's how
where
you
the
get
name come from?
Yeah, that piper got the name from piping. A lot of them pipe using what we call a Zoosh bottle. But you know them little brandy bottle? We knock out the dimple in the bottom. Towel. You take a wire mesh and put in the neck of the bottle.
Right.
Right? And you heat that. So when you rest the rock on it, it will stick.
Right.
And then you hold the flame there and you suck into the bottom.
Oh.
And that is piping. But that Zoosh bottle we invented because everybody couldn't afford the pipe. The pipe was like a L test tube kind of thing. Like a test tube, like a Nike sign.
Right, right.
And the mesh used to go on the short end and you heat it and you stick it. And when you pull now, you use any pipe. And you say you test tube and all the pipe. That's how pipers get the name because they pipe in cocaine. Right?
Okay.
And but I never like that. Never like that. That never appealed to me.
Preferred smoking.
But a day outside, now them fellas used to go inside when they piping, I'm not going inside with them. So I used to jump there, I used to be knocking the window and I used to sing, oh Danny boy, the pipes are cold. They'd be, boy gone, Fabian, what you doing, boy? Then your teeth in we head and red thing. And a day I smelled this thing. And it was a black joint. I was like, what is that? And let me tell you, all my brethren in Dark Island and Belmont used to tell me, you see, coke, that is not for you. They tell me that. Oh, you know, people always directed my path for me, you know. When I was in fisheries, they used to tell me, accounts is not for you, but you belong on stage. And I was an accounts clerk in National Fisheries. And in Belmont, they used to tell me, boy, cooking is not for you,
You know,
Southie.
you know, I realize that plenty areas that we deem as hotspot areas or areas, the people show a different sort of love
Compassion.
to the people that reside there. I'm not going to say that every single person, because you will never find all good anywhere.
Right.
You understand? But they like, if it is, they believe that, hey, you intelligent. You understand? We see.
They try to make a part for you out. Yeah? And or they tell me that's not for you. So I start going and get for myself. Because they didn't want me to smoke with them. So I went and started smoking by myself. That smell, boy, that smell of that black joint really get to me. I can't describe it. It's like,
At the point that
can't describe the smell. The smell was just highly attractive to me, and I wanted to smell that.
Wow.
So I went and make my own black joints and start smoking. So a lot of times, what helped me get so sick too was that I was using by myself. A lot of the times I was using by myself.
So you used and try to act normal in around everyone else?
Well, yeah, I tried to act normal, but I used to get real mellow and stupid.
Were you
My
alright?
wife used to look at you like an ass now.
there are plenty of people that you would call functional drug addicts. Would you say at that point in time you was a functional drug addict?
I was functional with everything except on stage. I used before going on stage once. It was a disaster. And I never used before going on stage. But see, as I come off stage, because on stage was a high by itself.
Right.
And as soon as it finished and it crash come and everybody go, and I wanted
You
to
want
get
something
back.
to replace that
So
high.
a lot of my drug use was after performances, late into the night by myself.
But with cocaine, per se, like, how long were you on cocaine?
Well, I had start experimenting with cocaine in 1983. And 1988 is when I went into rehab. So it was about
5 years.
5 solid years of cocaine.
So 5 years using cocaine. That's not bad. Like, no, when I actually think about it, 5
For
years.
real.
5 years is really untrue. According to what taking place in your life at that point in time.
5 years is a lot.
5 years, listen, we talking about cocaine here, no fellas.
So,
Long time.
let me tell you how.
All them mad boy.
Let me tell you my 5 years, because this beautiful darkie come to work National Fisheries.
You was married already?
We're telling about this woman. No.
Talk to her.
You can't tell it beautiful. Oh my God. Yeah, nah. I get dotish. I observe girls. I like girls, but I was more on drugs.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
if I had to study to go by a girl or go and smoke, yeah,
Go in
I
and
go and
smoke.
smoke.
Right.
You know, what? But this girl, boy, oh my God,
Now, but we like pause the father.
Yeah.
Right? This man just said that he was choosing
drugs
drugs
over
up.
women.
But then again, what kind of drug, it was already cooking at that point?
Well, at this point, when this girl coming into my life, it was not cooking.
It wasn't cooking, so it's still weed.
It was still weed.
You was choosing girls over weed?
Weed
Well,
over
weed over
girls.
girls?
Yeah.
Nah, boy, Errol.
I was chronic.
Nah, boy, Errol, boy. No, wait. Weed
Huh?
over girl?
No.
Nah. Pressure, any
You
calm
mean
down.
no?
I'm telling you.
No, it's not that I didn't have a sex drive.
I mean, like general, is that a symptom? Like,
That's, and as far as I know, that is a symptom of addiction. When there's addiction, no matter what it is, it takes precedence over everything else in your
one
life
second,
because it's an
before-
addiction. Yeah.
Before you go into the story of your wife, I wanna actually talk about addiction for a moment. I suffer with sickle cell anemia, and being that I suffer with sickle cell anemia, they give us narcotics
Right.
for the pain. Some of the narcotics that they give us, something called ketamine, something called morphine, and something called
All
pethidine.
addictive.
Right? Now, they started giving me morphine at the age of 12. Right? By the time I was
Wow.
16, they upped the dosage of the morphine. By the time I was 20 years of age, I was addicted to morphine. Now listen to what I'm saying. When I say addicted to morphine, I was addicted to morphine.
You cannot live without
it. So there are times when it is, I didn't need to go to the hospital. But I saying, yo, I'm in pain because when I reach there, I'm telling them I'm in pain. And
they want a prescription.
Right. And it gets so bad to the point that when I go to the hospital, I know where they're keeping the prescriptions. I take any prescriptions. I write in my own prescriptions. You understand? Or they stamping it beforehand for me. So thanks for that part.
Stamp and wait in there.
Mm-hmm. You leave it. I go in and I learn. I went and learned how to write prescriptions. What need to be in what place. What TDS means. What PO means. What 1/52 or 2/52. How to line it up. How much drugs they would usually give. And this is because I was addicted to that medication at the point in time.
You do anything to get it.
I went from 20, like it gets me at 20, right? So 20, 21, 22, 23. Bordering on 24, I was addicted to morphine. And a day I went into the hospital because I made friends with a doctor. His name is Dr. Surat Singh. Shout out to that man. Blessings to that man. As long as he lives, blessings to you. And he knew me from coming into the hospital. And we had good conversation and thing. And a day he just say, you and I want to talk to you, I want to ask you something. I say, okay. He said, after you done deal with everything, come and check me. And he carried me into a room. And he said, are you addicted to the morphine? And I watched him in his face and I said no. I lied directly to his face. And after lying directly to his face, I left the hospital. And if you know Mount Up Hospital, you go down the long stretch. They are the main building here. And if you make the left, on the right hand side would be adult emergency. So I come in from adult emergency, walk all the way up to the top, past all the tall trees. And then I started crying. I started to feel bad because I lied to this man who genuinely just look out for me. And I walked back. And I went and looked for him. I said, here it is going on. Yes. I addicted to the medication. The medication affected me in this way. I was in custard. I wasn't studying schoolwork. When it is when I'm on morphine, when I'm on that medication. I'm not studying.
How does morphine make you feel?
High. Like you're walking on a cloud. Like everything good. So then if you have any other problems taking place in your life, as soon as you get that, you have no problems. You have none.
You see,
somebody could be cursing you, bow to your mother in front of your face and you hide up. I big up. Yeah, she is an ass dog. I agree with you. I'm telling you. After speaking to the man, you know what that doctor do? He pulled me into a room and he allowed me. He said, yo, it's have a rehab place in Tunapuna. And I think you should go there. And I will write a letter for you to be accepted into there. It's like a Alcoholics Anonymous, so and so. He said, you are too intelligent to waste the mind that you have feeling behind drugs. And that man believed in me. And in that moment, I him actually just,
showing you that.
I go through the entire process. And when I was coming out, I was thinking to myself, you're really better. You're really not going on. And it clicked. The only way for you to be certain that you will never have to deal with this drug again is if you never have to deal with this drug again. So immediately, go to the hospital. Anytime I go into the hospital, I am allergic to morphine. I tell you up front, I'm allergic to that. So in other words, don't even bring it.
Don't bring it.
You understand? Because I know too much. I don't even think, at this stage, so many years later, I don't think that I could fight that urge or fight that feeling. You understand? So addiction is a dangerous thing.
See, there's a definition for addiction, a clinical definition. Repeating an action or an experience in spite of negative consequences. So it's how people say, get addicted to church or get addicted to exercise. Once it's an addiction, it's not good. There's no positive addiction.
Yeah.
There's none.
But
an addict is a person who uses to live and lives to use. Our whole life and thinking is centered in that drug in one way or the other. Getting, using, and finding ways and means to get more. That's it. The only thing we think about is getting that drug or finding a way to use what we get.
Yeah, because
that's it. There's nothing else in the world
when I
exists.
actually think
Nothing.
about you was stealing prescriptions, you learn to write. You learn everything that you need to know. Yeah, it's not even learn to write scribbly like the doctors just to be able to do that. Like addiction is, and I really actually wanted to hear your take on addiction because I know what I feel and I know how how that experience was for me.
Yeah.
And that was years. Like that is why to me when them say 5 years, I know watching 5 years as plenty when it comes to drug use because if you're addicted to something, this could run.
No, but see, I was dealing with my marijuana use, which was 7 or 8 times a day generally.
Yeah.
And then I put crack into all of that marijuana. So I ran into a problem of not having money
To support it.
So I start selling a lot of things out of our home and thing.
Wait, I wanted to go back to meeting you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Talk to me.
this darky boy
Darky, listen
with
to me.
eyes to die for.
Before we go any further, shout out to the darkies.
Shout out to the
Shout
darkies.
out to the
boy.
darkies.
Darkies.
I told her that before. Uncle Errol embracing it. Yeah, you understand?
Yeah, boy. Oh, go on. Nothing. We're not against nobody else.
Nobody else, but
I see darkies. Oh
they're
my
different.
God.
They're different. I
Oh
understand,
my
Uncle Errol. I
God.
understand.
Oh my God. So this darky know how to form 6. Thank you. Know how to form 6. You know, all her subjects, her whole life ahead of her. Porting bunks up with me. Hi. She started lying into a little crew I used to lie with. And then I just got a little old motorbike. So I said, go up the road to drop her home. And she holding on, driving fast. So she holding on tight. Oh, God! Yeah. And the long and short of it, her association with me was frowned upon. She was an only child.
Right.
And it come to a point where she had to choose. She had to end up leaving home and going by a girlfriend, and in short order end up by me. And within about 3 months she was pregnant. And before our first daughter was a year old, she was in hospital delivering our second daughter.
Whoa.
And the next year she was there delivering our third daughter. So it was like these 3 big. No, the thing is, you see, the question you're asking, right?
You lapsed.
You see, well,
You was making up time. Remember, you was on weed and drug guilt. You
I was
making up.
still high. That's the problem.
You're still high.
I was still high. I didn't understand what that woman meant and what she came with and the possibilities and things. I was high. Huh? She knew. Listen, that's the woman who came to me in 88 to get me into treatment, to save my life. I was still married to her then. She now want to real take pressure, boy. With all this drugging, she's so beautiful, so kind, so understanding, so strong, so patient. She dare seen about these children. I had to go to work every time she make a child go back to work pregnant and had to face all these girls and them who know and all her friends who know I home high. And she just making children for this loser. You understand? Because when she get pregnant the first time, one had to leave because we was working in our Kong's department and I leave saying I go in and do entertainment. But really and truly that job was in the way of my drugging. And now she was working, so I had a money supply coming in there. And I was home drugging when she didn't working. All day just drugging and lock up in the house, running out by the pusher and come back, running out by the pusher and come back, running out by the pusher and come back.
What do you think that she saw in you that
God sent her away. It did not nothing in me, I don't think she saw anything in me. I could have make her laugh. Boy, did I make her laugh. She used to laugh. I used to love to hear her laugh. And that's about it. Had nothing in me. I was a real loser. I was going downhill and pedaling fast and dragging her along behind me. And then dragging her and one child, her and two children, her and three children down there behind me.
And when it is you get she, as you say, send you into your house.
She carried me to my first NA meeting. First she carried me to a place called Families in Action for Help. Right? And then they sent us to NA. And we went NA for years, and then I stopped going NA and just spiraled down and down and down until I had nowhere to go again. I was like at rock bottom. And then she's the one who engineered everything to get me into the rehab. And she just really was a godsend in my life.
You're still married today? Like you're still legally married to her?
No.
All right.
We got married twice, though.
So you're married and
when I leave the center, right, I embrace recovery. And boy, the hand of God in my life, I get a job as I leave the center as a TV presenter. Coming from where I came from 3 months ago, right? 3 months later, I got a job as a TV presenter.
Wow.
And I was looking nice for the first time in my life because there's real feeding in the rehab center. I was 160 pounds and that was the biggest I'd ever been in my life. And I was looking good. I had my wits about me. I was on TV. I was funny. I was the man. And I didn't go back to drugs, but my addiction flare up again with women.
Right.
That's how I lose my wife.
That is something I wanted to talk to you about. So, at present, you have how many kids?
7 children that I have fathered.
7 children that you fathered. And, well, how many with your wife that we were speaking about?
4.
4.
4 girls.
All right. And the other 3 children that wasn't with your wife, any of them have close ages to the children with your wife?
Yeah. When I left rehab, right, we had 3 daughters. And I fall in a groove and she was supporting. And I got my family back. And I didn't understand that it wasn't drugs was the problem, was this thing called addiction.
Yeah.
So I wasn't smoking, but I was doing everything else like an addict. And then when the disease flared up again, it was with women. And I had to come home a day to tell this woman who stick by me through everything
That somebody
else pregnant.
I never had to live that life. I know that hard.
And it was hard. And as soon as that baby was born, my wife got pregnant.
Ooh.
So that girl who my wife had, the 4th girl, is less than a year old, younger than the boy I had outside.
Right.
And
So you have 4 girls with your wife?
4 girls.
So you see, no boys?
No boys.
So these other women was to bring the
boys.
All right.
So, when he was 11 months old, a couple times I pick him up and he had burns and different things. And my wife said to me, I'll take that child for me, please.
Wait. So what you're saying is basically the child I had outside.
Yeah,
When
I
you bring
pick
him
up
home, he had burns and...
Yeah, twice he had burn marks on his hand, once on his leg, one there. And my wife saying, that girl do not know what to say about her baby.
So
Take
wow.
that child.
Wow. So basically what you're saying is that your wife was willing to accept your outside child.
So I spoke to his mother and she was in agreement because she was working shift. So he came to live with us from 11 months old.
Wow. Wow.
And my wife never treated him in any way less than her son. But I knew she was in pain. Because she see about him every day.
Because you wouldn't know. But what you think that pain was like for? Like, what you think hurt her the most? Coming from that? The embarrassment?
My ingratitude. Because after she went through all of that with me, that is what I come and repay her with.
Listen, did she know the girl?
No. But anyway, to make matters worse, because I was with a setter woman at the time, right? Also, this woman was living by herself in Cascade.
How you making time for all the women though?
But I
And
tell you,
working on the
listen to
TV
me.
though.
I tell you, it was worse than drugs. I did more lying, more cheating, more hiding, more can't count for money, more everything than with drugs. Oh, to this day, I sleep well. If I sit down anywhere for more than 5 minutes, you have to wake me up. Unless we in a talk or something, you have to wake me up. I as well sleep, I don't play. So, a day, the woman asked me, when I leave with my wife. I was like, excuse? She said, we have a real good thing going here. I said, yeah, but we never talk about
Yeah,
me
pause
leaving my
on that.
wife. Yeah.
Pause on that.
And she was in her, she get upset and things, so I jump in my car to go home. And time I reach home, I didn't know she don't call my wife. I tell my wife everything. And she was a suspicious woman. So although she suspect I was with, she tell my wife I was with all of them too. A lot of it wasn't lies.
Wow.
But that was the last coffin there, boy. That finish off my wife, boy. And soon enough, I had to say to her, you know, if you need some time out, I was still the children, and she wanted time out. I had left to her because she was so angry at me. I leave her went by my brother, but I need to be back there early in the morning to carry my children for their walk and see about breakfast and all them things. So I used to be back there early in the morning every day until I tell her, you know, I really can't do this. I need to be with the children. And even that was a hard lash because I didn't say I needed to be with you, you know. I said I need to be with children. Yeah. And I only discovered all of that after we ever talked long after.
Words have real significance.
So I end up with children, I end up moving. So I moved out with these 5 little children and started living as a single father with them. And soon enough, my wife went to New York and we followed through with divorce proceedings and things. Then I met this girl and had 2 boys, 2 amazing boys, and that didn't work out. But in 2008, I went to New York to do a show, and I invited my wife to it. Anything I do in New York, I'll invite her. And she came to it, and it was my 20th anniversary drug-free. And the show I went to do, the people, they flew my brothers and sisters from all over the world where they were to the show to surprise me.
Good vibes, man. That good vibes.
But listen to me.
That good vibes.
I there on stage, me and Nikki Crosby, and she said, I have a surprise for you, you know, from Tobago. And my sister woke up. And that freaked me out and thing. And when I recovered, and she said, I have a surprise for you, you know, from Toronto. And my brother, and then from Miami, and from Atlanta, and all my brothers and sisters, boy. And they talk about my journey on substance abuse and thing. And my wife's sitting down in the audience. And she told me after you show, I want to see you. You check me tomorrow. And when I went, she asked me the question, you know, I see all your siblings on stage with you, you know, but where were they?
When
you was out there?
Yeah. Yo, the hard one.
And
The hard one.
boy, we had our longest and truest heart-to-heart that day. That's the day we really ended. Well, I could only say, you know, I this was a surprise to me. I didn't plan it. She says, I know, and I wasn't asking that I be there.
She just letting you know.
I want you to know. And she let me know everything. I never feel so small in my life.
I still young. Why it is like with women, right? They need to sometimes for them the venting is
it's important.
It's very important.
It's not only important for men, you know, Johan. It's important for human beings. And as men, we don't vent enough. We don't say to the person who causes us grief the exact nature of that grief. You know, we men, you know, we men.
We have to
but let me tell you, see, that outpouring, and it's not in war, it's letting you know. So I've said it, otherwise it's inside my head all the time, you know. That man just put the extinguisher on the wall just so every time I see it, I eat up, but I never say breads. You see there, that is not a good place for the extinguisher. Don't put it there. And explain to him, and
Why,
he might
yeah.
tell me, and then might realize, okay, well, yeah, well, you put it there. But no, we's men, so we don't do that. But women are more inclined to do that than us. And that day was a very instructive day in my relationship with that woman. Because we cry, we quarrel, we cuss, we shout, we cry, we quarrel, we cuss, we shout, we cry, we quarrel, we cuss, we shout. It was a long session.
If there's a go through them kind of days, the cry, the quarrel, nah, that it's be good. It's be good.
Yeah, it
good.
was cathartic,
Yeah.
whatever the word is. Cathartic.
Yeah.
Wherever. It was a catharsis, all right? Everything came out. And you know, the next time I contacted her was to talk about something with our eldest daughter.
Right.
And you know what come out of my mouth?
What?
Will you marry me?
We pressure any calm boy.
I really want to spend the rest of my life with you. And she was like, what? You couldn't be serious. You serious? I said, she said, why? I said, why? She said, because I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And the next year in 2009 in New York City, we got married again. And we fly everybody. It was a big wedding. It was a big wedding. It was nice. We had a real good time. And she was supposed to come home in a certain time. And to this day, she never come home. To this day, because I have to think that she just, all the love she loved me and all the love I love her, can't
undo certain things.
Not only that, can't protect her from the person who she know, because she don't really know me in recovery. She know me in active use.
So is it fear, a bit of fear?
I think it's fear, serious, blood-curdling fear that I will become that person again. You know, sleeping with all these women. And the reality is she went a lot of AA meetings and treatment program and thing alongside me holding my hand. I went to a family fellowship called Naranan and thing, and know the beast could come back.
Yeah.
She knows that the beast could come back. And I think to protect herself, she chose not to. And so we get divorced again.
I passionate, calm dog. I passionate. No, but cause it sounds like a real good love story. Like, me this darky, Daisy darky, you
That's
understand?
the darky.
Darky support,
That's
man.
the darky.
You
All the way.
understand? She was there through everything. Boom, we got married. We had kids. Everything.
We had the 3 girls before we got married. We
Yo.
got 3 girls and then we get married.
What's her best quality?
Her breath.
Her what?
Just her life, her breath, just her existence.
Is what he said she's breasting. Yeah, I know that.
Not her breast, her breath. Her breath, her breath. She... Her breath,
Breath,
her
like her
very
life.
existence.
Yeah, you
her
in the
very
quality.
existence is her best quality, because you can't find a more patient woman than her. You can't find a more tolerant woman, a more forgiving woman, a more genuine woman, a woman who do everything for her man and for her children. You know, you can't find it. And she wise with money. She continue educating herself up to now. She might be in some university doing something.
Young fellas listener.
You know, to this day she in some university studying something, you know, and working hard, and everything. She is her best quality.
Yeah. Hey, that's what I want, boy. That's what I want, boy.
Telling you.
That's what I want.
Yeah, she is
I ain't
her
even
best
lying to
quality.
you. I literally, what you just explained there, just package down like, somebody daughter, please.
And she's a darkie with eyes to go swimming in. Oh my God.
You see when I come out, it has certain darkies. The eyes, because of the darkness, listen, man.
The eyes, boy.
Captivating.
That's right.
It's
I didn't stand a chance. The first time she looked into my eyes, and I didn't stand a chance.
I know I don't.
I went through. It was all over. It was all over.
Being a parent.
Yeah.
What is your pride and like what does it feel like to be a parent?
Being a parent, wow, is most beautiful, scary, exciting, boring. It is not even, I can't even say it's a job, because it's not a job. It is, it's like a vocation. That's what it's like, being a parent, because once you become a parent, even if that child dies, you don't stop being a parent.
Yeah.
You're a parent for life.
Wow.
You know, so, and I've been a parent 7 times over. I have to say 8 now because my new wife has a son.
Right.
That
right.
I
But
got.
that your son.
That my son.
That your
So
son.
I have 4 boys and 4 girls in that respect. But
Blessed one, numbers lining up and things.
Yeah.
I like it not. You're going to divorce his wife and remarry she? Now you can't just do that once. She going to feel left out though.
I don't think I need to divorce her to remarry her.
No,
I can just renew the vows or something. Divorce her, say, you know, I might think I get away and keep running. Divorce her, say, you know. Good.
One thing that I wanted to ask you that, like, really answer because we running low on time. So this is not really connected to anything that we were speaking about before, but I want to touch on this, like
Talk to me.
politics. What make you say, you know what, I running into the arena?
Because I am dissatisfied with the administration of my country, and it's not enough for me to stand up on the side pelting big stone.
Okay. When you went into the arena, did you know that chances are I'm not going to win this battle, I'm not going to come out the victor immediately. This is going to take me pounding and trying to open the eyes of these people because they're accustomed to this.
Yeah.
They become complacent already. These people are not ready to say, well, all right, we're not taking this anymore.
Well, I went into it knowing that this is another journey I'm going on. And the thing about being on a journey, whether you backpack heavy or light, you're on the journey.
Yeah.
So whether the victory is not about getting into office, the victory is about making a positive change in the governance of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
So even if I never get elected,
But you get ideas.
I get inside there, I get to say my piece. More people, I believe, right, and I have felt empowered to be independent candidates since Errol start going up as an independent candidate.
I've been 100% agree with you. Like, I do really like politics and that sort of stuff. But if I'm being totally and completely honest, because of what I see taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, I love here too much. Like genuinely.
That is the thing.
Genuinely, this is ours. And if all you wanna have it haphazard and play all around it into the ground, we go out to fight.
Exactly. That's
And
how I
like
feel.
we are willing to draw blood for that. This is this home.
Exactly.
I really actually do feel like our leaders feel the same way because I feel like they feel they could get up in the morning and go somewhere else.
I don't feel they see us. They don't see the average man and woman. They don't see us.
That is levels.
Yes.
That statement is levels because at the end of the day they don't see us. They don't go where we go.
They don't know our pain.
They don't know.
They don't know our fears. They don't know our concern. They don't know our insecurities. They don't see us. They just see on that level where polymer is not a problem and riding out of here is not a problem. And, you know, they don't see us. They don't understand that some of us trapped geographically in places that they created. They don't understand that some of us are the working poor, that we will work forever and just be poor. And they don't understand that it's a responsibility to remove poverty from us because we're too rich to be so poor.
A beautiful, wealthy country as Trinidad and Tobago.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
And I don't even want to go into that because we could go places with this conversation. But what do you think gives you the love for Trinidad that you have for Trinidad?
When I went in Aprima College, I started to find it. When I started singing songs written, and my father, I saw his love for the country. I saw him educating people, knowing that he was doing that to make sure they had a better life. You understand? And then I ended up working in a company called Banyan with a man named Tony Hall and one named Dennis Hall and one named Christopher Laird and one named Bruce Paddington and a man named Errol Fabien and a woman named Niala Maraj, and they were consumed with Trinidad and Tobago, and it didn't have Indian and African and UNC and PNM, it only had Trinidad and Tobago. And we went out and we went to Kali Pujas and Elephant Feast and we went to Ramlila and we went to Emancipation Celebration. We went to everything and just reported everything. And I saw how beautiful. And then I started flying a lot, visiting a lot of countries doing my comedy. And I would always go to the marketplaces and check and see and look. And I realized we have a real good thing going in this country and in this region.
Two things I want to touch on real quick. For me, when it is I travel, the first time that I traveled, I was on a plane with a Jamaican. And if you know anything about them patriotic, them don't play that game. You understand? They need a flag, they need your shoes to be a Jamaican. Shoes it, jersey, they saying this is Jamaica. And seeing how they love their country, it kind of bring you to a point that you want to love your country the same way now. We're like, yo, we create the pan, you know. Yeah, yo, that instrument, when it comes to Olympics and these things, not many Caribbean countries could jump out and say, yo, we have this, but we have this.
Yes.
You understand? We a whole genre of music. We create. We doing
More
different
than one.
things here.
More than one genre.
That is a tangent, but I want this to be the last piece here, and this is what I really want your honesty. Do you when it is you were on the verge of losing Gaia, losing your home, losing everything that you would have worked for and accomplished, did you know in your heart that Trinidad and Tobago was going to stand by you? You thought that they was going to stand by you, wasn't like how it feel? I want one second. I want to know how it feel at the point when it is you was speaking to the people and letting them know that all right, this is what it is, and how it feel when it is you find out, yo, not even a full week pass and that money there because it's Errol and we want to see him survive, we want to see him thrive, we want to see him go out there and make the best because he gives to this country and we go and give back to him. How that feel?
It was the most humbling experience I ever had in my life, and I've been humbled many times in my life, and I didn't feel as though they were giving back to me, you know. I felt like they were giving me a mandate to continue to do what I'm doing. I feel they were saying, you know, hey, don't mess this up, you know. Hold this and secure those things and take care of those things.
Uncle Errol, you must understand, you have a television. Yo, for those of y'all who don't understand what this is, for those of y'all who don't understand what this is a black man in Trinidad and Tobago owning his own television station. Understand what it is I'm saying here? This is power, dog. If it is all you don't realize it or you don't recognize it as yet, this is power. That you accomplished something amazing. Even though I know I kind of cut what you were saying, I want to say this. I want you to know that we appreciate it. The ones who have an understanding of who you are and what you have done and what you have accomplished, we appreciate it. And men like you that show the kind of love that you show for this country inspire men like me to love this country as hard as you love this country. You understand? And this is a blessing. This is an opportunity. I asked these gentlemen how bad I wanted this conversation. I let them know that this conversation, it have to happen. It have to happen. If it is I doing this have to happen. I also want to have a conversation with Abu Bakr at some point in time. But these are the kind of conversation. These are the kind of people. You are a blessing to this country. And you will be a blessing way beyond your life. I needed to know that before you leave here, you need to know that when you leave in a legacy star. We appreciate it. Trinidad and Tobago, you and Harry, we appreciate it and the things that you have done for this country so far. So don't ever at any point feel like, you know what, my life wasn't worth that much, or I didn't get to do. You don't even know. You don't even know. Your great grandkids go and listen and hear about Errol. You understand? You go and be a conversation. I needed to know that. You're a blessing. I'm really glad that you came here today. I don't think we have any more time. That's the only thing. I don't think we have any more time.
I see what I do, Johan, in real and truth, as my debt to this country.
Society, like you're paying us back.
I owe that. I owe only that.
It's a blessing to have you here.
Yeah,
Stand
respect.
firm, stand strong, and keep inspired.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that was the boardroom of the Kings. I'm Johan Harry. This is Errol Fabien. And we will chill with all this some other time because we can't talk to him once. We can't do that.
Fair enough.
All the blessings.